Oh yeah.
Yo, what up, 33? Tell me something good.
Everybody.
You know, they tell me life don't come with no menu, so we're gonna take it a day at a time.
Man, about time you got here, man. Light your cigar, do whatever you gotta do. Get comfortable so we...
Well.
That intro's fire.
That's it?
That beat is crazy.
That's it?
Yeah.
Okay, we gonna be good then.
That beat is crazy.
Well, we back again. You now tuned into the Good Days GreatNights Podcast. Like I tell y'all every time I get to break bread with my people, it's always a good one. Make no exception about this one. This was an alley-oop. One of my people's two dope ladies doing some good things out in the city with real estate and just bossing up together. They plugged me. They plugged me with a good person. So if you know me in the cigar world, they call me 33. Alicia and Harrison's daddy or father, depending on what demographic, how you get down.
All right.
Your auntie's favorite podcast host. You dig what I'm saying? She loved me, you know. Your uncle's favorite nephew.
There we go.
Me and him, we kind of happy on some of these editions of my Cowboys getting going and everything like that. Yeah, that's it. That's what I said.
Right.
Mr. Will Spill Your Mama From a Half to a Whole on some two-step stuff.
Okay.
And the second coming of Gerald Levert.
There we go.
The second coming. So we do it a little different here, man. I never introduce you off your name. It's because a lot of times we may have heard something.
Yeah.
May have seen something. Somebody said, this is how he is. But it's so much underneath those layers, right? So we do it in the sense of a road trip. So if we was getting ready to leave right now,
all right,
we can get outside. I got my people with me. You got your people with you. Where would you want to go?
Woo, a road trip. Where would I want to go? Man, let's just head west.
So we thinking Vegas, we thinking Cali, we thinking Oregon. Where we want to go?
We thinking Cali.
Okay.
Let's head west because you get to go through the desert.
Okay.
See the stars like you never get to see before. Clear night skies. Yeah, let's just go west, man.
Okay. So we're gonna go west. You got to drive. So you can drive at night or you can drive at the daytime. It's up to you.
Okay.
We done said our prayers. Everybody kind of good. Everybody right? It's your turn to drive.
All right.
We got the aux cord, the Bluetooth, portable charger, however you want to get down, right? What 5 songs would you play and why?
Man. All right, I'm just going to give you my life soundtrack, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
First one I got to play is Jay-Z, You Don't Know.
Jay-Z, You Don't Know.
Yeah, that's my theme song, right? Okay. When I was in the sales for the startup, my boss was like, think of your theme song that gets you going. And that was it because, we come from the inner city. And so a lot of times we have to almost overcompensate our knowledge compared to our peers that don't look like us. And so it's almost like when you walk in the room, it's already like, do you know what you're doing?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so it's like, yeah, all I heard was you don't know. So that's where you're wrong.
I know.
I came into, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that would be my first one.
Okay, so Jay.
Yeah, gotta do Jay. Gotta do Kanye Through the Wire.
Of course.
Just because it just changed the game.
It changed the game.
He came in with that sultry, that the samples with the old school, and then it was a shocker, and it was like, whoa, you didn't expect that.
Yeah.
Another would have to be Tupac.
It ain't a pod if we don't have no Tupac.
We going west, right? So gotta play Pac. Either so I'm gonna put this together. Either To Live and Die in L.A. because that's where we headed that way. Or Life Goes On.
Life Goes On.
Life Goes On.
Life Goes On is at one of the ones.
Yeah, man. When I was a kid, right, me and my two of my good friends, the twins, we used to put the tape over the top, right, and play it in the background so you can rap over it. We thought we was rappers back in the day.
You got to do it.
And one of the twins got murdered when I was young, right?
That.
So that was very like one of my best friends when I was 17. He got murdered. So. That's just one of my favorite songs. Sometimes when I go down memory lane, I throw that one on. And
right.
So I never forget him. You know what I'm saying? I forget those memories. So that's 3.
Right.
Another one would have to be Give It Up.
Okay.
Marvin Gaye.
Okay.
Right.
You gotta have that old school in there.
Gotta have that. My aunt, man, rest her soul. That was her favorite song, and that was one of my favorite aunties. You know what I'm saying? So that was hers. And then got to throw in some Prince, man. Raspberry Beret. That's the wife's one of her favorite songs.
Okay.
She can't sing, but when she try, that's one of the songs she sings. So yeah, gotta throw that.
So when you in the good place and the bad place, you play that.
There we go.
You get extra.
Yeah. Yeah.
Extras, okay.
Yeah, so a little mix.
So Prince,
Yeah.
Tupac, Marvin Gaye, Jay-Z,
and Kanye.
and Kanye. That's a good list right there. Do me a favor, man. Introduce yourself.
Man, so I ain't got as many aliases.
Come on,
but
give me what you got.
My name is Chris Dunlap.
Okay.
Across social medias, I'm Stick Talk Dunny because I talk about the stock market. Call myself the Wolf of Wyco.
Come on.
Because I'm heavy in the market game. And that's me, man. Right? Chris Dunlap, Stick Talk Dunny, the Wolf of Wyco.
That's what's up, man. So we had a conversation before, so coming out of Wyandotte County and getting into what you're doing, and then later on, moving to Missouri as well. How was that as a kid? You talked about your aunt.
Yeah.
Talked about your childhood friends, the twins and things like that. How was that?
Growing up in Wyco?
Yeah.
I mean, it was a beautiful struggle.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Beautiful struggle.
It was a beautiful struggle, right? We struggled. We was lower middle class.
Okay.
Younger years, I grew up with family living with us, so it was beautiful, right? I had all my cousins. It's like a never-ending sleepover all the time.
Together,
right? Everybody's sleeping in a 2-bedroom house, right?
Talk about it.
In the city. So that was fun times. You always had that around. As I continued to grow, like I said, man, it was just a beautiful struggle. The only downside I would say about it is, unfortunately, in that environment, and having siblings and a lot of people that we experience things that I don't think kids should experience.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I told you, one of my best friends got murdered when I was 17.
Yeah.
Right? But we were seeing death and knowing about death very early on in Wyandotte County, especially if you dipped any toes off the porch.
You got to.
You know what I mean?
You're going to see it. It's inevitable. Yeah.
Exactly, right? Or had friends that jumped completely off the porch. So you experienced that. And, you got the friends that went to juvenile. You got, the later years, the friends that, I'm going to college, they going to prison.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, even my older brother did, I think 13 years. Yeah, he did 13 years. Cousins did, 13, 17. So that's why I say it's a beautiful struggle. You have the beauty of that family. And then I think when we talk, Wyco, it's like almost everybody's related.
Everybody's related. That's true.
Like,
Facts.
Like 2% of separation. I think we just met today and we put together 5 or 6 people.
5 or 6 people
know.
in connection. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the beauty of it.
Yeah.
The struggle is, of course, it's the inner city. So you experience those things that you probably wouldn't experience if you weren't in an inner city environment.
Gotcha. So with that, and you talked about something that I just don't want to run past. You talked about death.
Yeah.
Dealing with that, man, do you think, did it being that it was so, it's sad to say, normal, did it make you numb? Did it make you where, I lost some friends of mine, man, and I still mourn them.
Yeah.
I still hold them a certain kind of way. You know what I'm saying? One of mine, sickle cell. It wasn't like streets. It wasn't that. It was one of my good friends. You see what I'm saying? And his mom used to kind of put us, these your friends, protect my boys.
Yeah, for sure.
So how did you deal with that? How do you deal with death? How do you look at it?
Man, so my situation with my friend was probably one of the roughest losses that I ever had.
Okay.
Because maybe a couple weeks prior to him dying, we had a small little falling out. It wasn't nothing big, but you know how it is with your friends.
It's the same thing.
And so I never got the opportunity to say, you my dog and I love you. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And so I had to deal with that. It ate me up for a long time because I was like, man, maybe he died thinking that we was never on good terms, you know what I mean? And I never got a chance to kind of close that. But, I had this conversation maybe about 5 years with his twin brother, and I expressed that to him. This ate at me for so long, and he was like, my brother knew that you loved him, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We knew that. We got that.
Right.
So don't hold on to that. So I had to let that go. But in dealing with death and seeing so much, at a point it does make you a little numb. And then I think it was when my aunt passed is when I was like, man, I thought I was numb to this.
Right.
You think you become so numb.
Right.
And then that wound gets opened up again. Right. And you're like, wow, okay, that's a good thing because I'm still human. You know, so, and now dealing with death, man, I think as I get older and get mature, I get even more in tune with my feelings. Yeah. And so, over the pandemic, my pastor died, who was also almost like a father figure.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like we were close. He was my guy, and he passed to COVID, and it tore me up. Like it did. I handled that very, very, very tough.
Yeah.
So I think as I get older, I'm more in tune with my feelings and allowing myself to actually grieve. Because I think when we're young and we in the inner city, you just like, man, that's just what it is. It sucks. Man, you gotta keep going because life is going.
Yeah.
And now I give myself the grace to slow down and understand what I'm feeling.
So never to one up anybody, man. But man, my friend was the same way.
Man,
he was a barber.
Man,
and I'm calling him one day home from college, and I'm thinking he chasing.
Yeah.
You know, whatever. And didn't want to cut my hair, and all weekend long we calling. His mom got his phone in her lap.
Oh man.
And she don't know how to answer the phone to let us know.
Man.
He's gone. You see what I'm saying?
That's tough.
So a lot of that, you survivor's remorse.
Yeah, for sure.
You see what I'm saying? This is high school. This is senior. Yeah. This is senior year. This is freshman year of college.
Man.
So you got to think all the things that we've experienced now.
Yep. And
your friend never got a chance to see it. Sometimes it do make you.
Man.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It make you look at it kind of like different. So I can definitely. We got another thing, and it's sad to say that we can relate to on that. Yeah. But I used to wonder, like, dang, did he forgive me? Because I was mad at him. I'm like, dang, but if you don't want to cut my hair, you could have. But the whole time he's going through. You see what I'm saying? So when you go past that in 24 hours in a day, what does that look like for you?
Man, 24 hours in a day. Man, first thing I do, I roll out of bed and say, God, thank you for another day.
Got to.
Every morning, thank you for another day. When I'm doing my morning duties, I try to, read through a scripture or two. I start looking through, things in the news. I'm checking the market to see what the market's doing overnight, coming out of the Asian market. And then, I open up, I got a group where we talk about the stock market. We throw out plays and things in the group. So I start with doing my charts and throwing out my ideas for the day of the stock market at about, 7:30, 8 a.m. before the market opens.
Yeah.
Then I'm I'm at regular work after that. Over lunch, I'm looking at plays, throwing out more updates. I try to schedule a lot of my posts on social media, so it doesn't look like I'm super active, but I try to schedule those posts because it's not a lot of time, right? Right. Towards, the end of the day, I'm scrolling through to see what happened that was big news that I could do a clip on and, put it out there so I can keep my content consistent. Try to get to the gym, work out after the day's over with, come home, eat, binge a little bit on some TV while I'm going through something online, right? Managing everything else. And then it's sleeping back to it.
So how did the stock market choose, Chris? How did investing and
that's a good way
and literature and all of this, how you find this? How did this find you?
Man, so as a kid, like my stepdad and my mom, they were totally two different people, right?
Gotcha.
One was frivolous, right? And the other was I'm gonna hold on to what I have, right? Yeah. And so I saw both sides of things, and I was like, you know what? I don't ever want to go back to not having, so I'm gonna do something different with my money when I get older. And so I was always good with like saving money, right? Gotcha. Saving and having nest eggs and stuff like that. But I was in my MBA program, and I was in a finance course, and it was about, they started talking about the stock market. It was around when the market crashed, 2008. And so I asked my professor, I said, all right, Ford is at $1.
Yeah.
Is this a good time to buy Ford? Will it ever come back? And he was like, nah, Ford's done, it's dead. No, forget about it, right? So I was like, all right, cool. I'm not going to invest. The market, whatever. He told me the market was dead. 8 months later, we start seeing a rebound. Ford goes from that $1 to $10, $12. So I'm like, man, that was a 10x return that I could have had.
Missed it.
And so at that time I said, man, I'm never going to listen to anybody else about my finances. I'm going to figure it out myself. And ever since then, I've been a self-directed investor, doing it all myself.
Self-taught,
learning as much as I can. I read all the books, the Warren Buffett books, The Intelligent Investor, the Monk that sold his Ferrari, because you have to get the mindset first, right, to understand that this is a marathon, right? And so you got to be okay with slow and steady, right? So I read all the books to get my mindset right, and then I read all the books from the big investors. What do they do? What do they look for?
Right.
And I had the advantage because my undergraduate and my master's was business, so I understood how to look at profit loss sheets, you know what I'm saying, and look at quarterly reports from companies and what to eyeball to see what's a strong company. So I kind of had that advantage, and then I've just been doing it for a long time.
you know, we and my partners, we sit around, we have our cigars and we talking, man. And a lot of this is foreign to me. You talking, but I know some of it, you know.
Yeah.
With that, bro, what do you think, especially in the black community, how do you think that we view like finances, and what are some things that you think that we can do different?
Yeah, I hate to broad stroke, you know what I'm saying, because not all people are created the same, right? When it comes to that, and I not to say anything's wrong with that, but I don't like to be like, oh, the black community, yeah. Because what is the black community? There's so many different pockets within the black community.
So let's say community. Let's say the whole drink. The whole thing.
So I think the biggest thing with how we look at finances, I think over the last maybe 2.5, 3 years during the pandemic, I think a lot of people have had a shift in the way that they think about it, because there's been so much information pushed out there. The market gave up so many opportunities for people to do well. So I think more people got their eyes open to what's possible in the market, but I don't think enough of them did the due diligence to really understand it. So when the GameStop era and the AMC stuff, when that dried up and people lost money, they came back out the market. But it wasn't because the market failed. It was because they failed to do the research and really understand and grasp what they were doing. And I think the mentality is too much, the instant gratification, and we want everything to be a moonshot. Right? And so I think that's what happened. People thought it was get rich quick, and when it wasn't that and they lost money, they said, I'm done with it.
I think I seen something where it was like a person and it was like the value. Holding it too long. Explain that.
So you got to know when to get out. It's was it Willie Nelson? You got to know when to hold them, know when to fold them.
Know when to fold them.
And we have a hope mentality. Every human. That's why people play the lotto, because we hope. Right?
I definitely do every now and then.
You see, or go
Forgive
gamble.
me, but I will. I will go in there and give them $2-3.
Or go gamble. And so we have this hope. So we get into something and we hope it's gonna keep going. It's gonna keep going. It's gonna keep going. Man, take your profit. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people don't know. When do you take your profit? When you feel comfortable. But don't hope. Don't be like, because nothing goes up forever. So I teach my people that's in my course and that's in my group, set a daily limit of a percentage that you want to gain, because compounding interest is so powerful. So if you compound a percentage of a win every single day, eventually your account's going to look lovely, right? Everything doesn't have to be a home run. And I think that's the problem with our mindset, just in life in general. And I think there's a couple of reasons for that. We talked about this a little bit. The culture. Right, you look at hip hop. Everybody wants to be a rich rapper, and now as we get older, we know most of them dudes is broke. You know what I'm saying? You go work a 9 to 5 and have as much money as most of these rappers nowadays, right? And then now we got social media, which is super microwave, and everybody's living larger than life supposedly on social media. But when you look at the stats and you pull back the cover, it's not true. You know what I'm saying? We only got like 17% of the population that makes 6 figures. So how is everybody rich on social media?
It's a gimmick, man.
For sure.
It's a gimmick
to keep you in a false rat race. Now, if more people just slowed down and said, I'm just going to run my own pace in my own lane and stay consistent with what I'm trying to do, they'll look up and be in a much better place than they are, as opposed to trying to always find the next home run. I tell people all the time. So you say you graduated in 03, so you about 37?
I'm about to be 39.
Okay, 39. Okay, so let's say you graduated when you was 18. Right, all the things that you tried to do to get to a certain level. Now, if you just stay consistent in one thing, consistently growing month over month in one lane,
you talking good now?
You'll be in a much, I'm not saying, not counting your pockets or knowing where you are, but for most people, they'd be in a much better place than they are. Look at the 22 years, 23, 24 years that were wasted.
Mastering, you could have mastered it by
Could have mastered it.
That's dope.
And we don't think about that.
What made you want to give the knowledge versus keeping it? Because, a lot of people are selfish.
Man, you get to a point where impact is more important than money. You feel me? Like, there's actually studies that show, I think that now it's probably about 80,000. Once you get to 80,000, the marginal happiness that you get for having more isn't really that great.
So 80,000.
It's about 80.
Like, as far as yearly? Like, so if you have 80,000.
About 80.
Teach me, I'm learning.
You'll start realizing that, am I much happier at 150 than 80? not really, because if you look at life right and you keep expenses low, you can almost do the same things, right?
I like that.
And one thing you learn also is once you start buying the things that you thought would make you happy, and you realize, man, I got, that was just an instant thing. I bought it. Now it's like, dang, why did I do that? Most people have buyer's remorse on almost everything that they do that's high end.
Yeah.
And you get to a point where you realize all that stuff doesn't matter. I just want to live comfortable and have some level of freedom to do things like take trips or have great dinners. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. So yeah, it's about the 80. And so for me, it was like, okay, I've done well, and then I started having more and more people ask me about these things. And it's like, at the end of the day, me hoarding it, what does that do for anything or anybody?
Come on. Yeah.
I think Jay had a line that said, how can I help the poor if I'm one of them? You know what I'm saying? And so you got to get to a point, and then people will listen once they see that you live a certain way. And so now I could get that information out to individuals, right? And especially impacting my community.
Yeah.
Because when you start thinking about things like the wealth gap, and you know how they say that by 2053 they expect the net worth of Black America to be zero. It was zero. Now they're saying negative, which means that we're going to be in debt.
Yeah.
Nah, man, I can't just sit back with, I won't say it's the magic pill, but enough knowledge to help more people. I can't just sit back and say, nope, that's on y'all. I got to give it.
And so then, like I said, you just don't do stocks. It's more or less of just the literature of knowing it, right?
Yeah.
So what is just simple things, like maybe two things, if you had something to say to someone that you could say, try this.
Yeah.
Not get rich tomorrow.
Yeah.
But just to make them a better person, the way they look at money, the way they look at finances.
Yeah. Man, the quickest way to get yourself a raise is to cut unnecessary expenses.
Okay.
That's the quickest way to do it.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like, cut unnecessary expenses. That's the quickest way. And then you'll see the freedom there, right? And that starts with, do a simple budget that shows this is what I have coming in from my job, side hustle, whatever it is, versus what I have going out. All my necessities. And then what is the stuff that I'm just spending every now and again, not keeping track of? I'm spending something on the weekend, it doesn't hit till Monday, and now I'm in the negative. What are those things?
Yeah.
When you get your eyes on that, you'll be like, man, if I cut this, that, and the other, I might have an extra $300 to $400. With that $300 to $400, take half of that and just consistently invest in like, the VOO, which is the S&P 500, the total market. Invest in something like that just consistently, and you'll just see over time, again, going back to that compounding interest. The S&P 500 has returned 8 to 10% annually. Annually since its inception. So you think about that compounding on top of compounding.
Okay.
That's the simplest way. You don't have to make it complicated. Just find you something solid to invest in, cut expenses, right? Or for me, I'll give you this story real quick. So I won't put his name out there because I don't know if he wants his business out there, but somebody that I knew, he said, look, man, during season, I don't drink. So when I go out with my teammates and they're drinking and buying bottles and doing all this stuff, I'm putting that money into something. So I was like, dang, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Me, I stopped drinking 12 years ago.
Personal, just a choice.
Yeah. So what do you think I did?
Put it in there.
When I started going out with my friends that were still buying drinks and doing all that stuff, I was like, okay, that's about X amount. I'm going to take that money and put it into something.
That's live right there.
Take that money and put it into something. And so I cut that expense, and then I put it in something that was going to grow for me.
Yeah.
It's done me well.
That's what's up.
And that's easy. That's
easy. Yeah, that's a layup. Yeah. That's an easy. Okay. So, of course, I have to ask, a service and a disservice.
Okay.
Most definitely, I believe it's a service that you're giving the world. What does that hour, though, of silence look like for you?
Hour of silence?
Like silence, like where you just get to be in you, talk to yourself, maybe pat yourself on the back, maybe reassure yourself, like, hey, we're doing a good job here. Chris, you good. Where you get to say to yourself, like, because I think a lot of men, we don't have that moment to celebrate ourselves. So do you get that moment of like, peace?
When I sleep.
Come on. Most people do.
Or when I'm just binging something. And I don't think it's like, you did well, pat yourself on the back, good job. I don't think I ever have those type of moments, right? because my mind just never shuts off. My mind is always moving, thinking of something. What can I, not necessarily what can I do more for me, but what can I, what's more ways that I can get this information out to people, right? And more ways that I can give myself to people. So I think for me, yeah, it's just that when I'm either asleep or just mindlessly binging on something, it's just that's my silence. Yeah.
And then I was telling you earlier, when I look at your reels and I'm looking at your posts and you putting up, you said it earlier, but can you kind of talk about it again? Because you just said like simplify your budget.
Yeah.
What made you just the picture and just go like? Yeah. Where did that come in? Like, is that something you read, or is that something you just kind of like trial and error? Like, because me, when I'm doing this, I gotta turn this and make sure it look like in my mind. Yeah. But when I'm talking to my dog behind the lens, he's like, man, just post it.
Yeah, just post it.
Just post it. But what made you get that to where it just lays out like that? And it's a smooth. I'm very like, hey, that might be the play. Like as far as how you just because it's there.
Man, because I thought about doing a podcast, right? And I was like, you know what? So actually, I started with this thing called Finlit Fridays, which was like a Sports Center top 10 of the top 10 things that happen in the market that I felt people should know about, right? So we started with that, but it took a lot of time. The editing, the cleaning up. Me and my guy used to bounce back and forth, and some days my days would get away from me, and I get it to him late, and we posted it on Saturday instead of Friday, so it's not Finlit Fridays anymore. I'm like, man, there's got to be a simpler way to do this, and so I was like, okay. A way that I can stay consistent and do something real quick is find a story, 1 or 2 a day, that I can just throw up behind me on a green screen, talk a little bit about it, get it out there, ask people for their thoughts in the comments, right? So you get the user-generated content that helps you share and stuff like that. And so that's why I went that route, because everything else I just felt like I don't have the time for it.
Got you.
Yeah. So.
Now I seen it, man. Like I told you, I seen the one with Ye. Yeah. Talking about how they need them. And I think a lot of times people don't value their own worth. When I seen that, like I told you, I thought you was out of this. I'm like, man, he ain't nowhere in the world he in this section like this, because everything was like, it wasn't just based here, it wasn't just based there. It was you touching on so many different points of everything. Yeah. So I thought that was live, man. When it comes to this, and when you look at like relationships and business and things like that and finances, what are some of the things that you would say about that as far as getting somebody to invest or doing different businesses or making sure your brand looks a certain kind of way? What's some guides and things you would give to me?
Yeah, stay consistent for one, and then anything that you do, it has to align with your brand. I think I told you before I said yes to this. I had to go back and look at a few interviews.
I just want to let y'all know he vouching over here. He said we was good.
Yeah,
he said we was good.
I went and looked at a few interviews because it has to be on brand, right? And so when I saw a few of the people that you spoke with, I was like, okay, I'm in good company. This is solid. All right, I'm gonna do this. So it has to be on brand. It has to be consistent. You don't have to be in front of everybody at all times.
Gotcha.
Right? You don't have to do that. And then the other thing is, for me, I take the Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger approach.
Okay, talk about it.
If I don't understand it, or I don't have the time to understand it, I don't do it.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Got to feel right. Got to be right.
Got to feel right. I got to understand what I'm getting into, right? Or I just don't do it. I don't just chase it because, oh, there's some money in the opportunity. Because one thing I realize is that when you're always chasing money, it's going to be running from you. You just got to do things with a purpose, and then everything else will fall into place, right? And then the other piece is you just got to keep your social card. You got to keep it solid, right?
Yeah.
You got to keep your social credit solid, which means you got to be a stand-up person.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying? Your word is your word. You got to give more than you ask, right? I can't remember the last time I've asked for a favor, right?
Okay.
I'm always giving. I'm always, how can I help you?
Yeah.
Right? I want to make sure I'm always bringing value to every conversation that I walk into.
That's live.
And the favors will fall into place. Eventually somebody will say, how can I help you? Or, hey, I see what you're doing. I want to help you, right? And if not, it doesn't matter to me, because that's not what I'm doing it for.
Gotcha.
And that will be the last thing, is just make sure you keep your brand, your social credit and your brand on point, and you're always giving value when you step into a conversation.
You got to give more than you ask. I like that.
Always. You always do. You always have to do that, because one thing I one thing that kind of, I'm like, is when the first thing out of somebody's mouth is an ask. You know what I mean? I used to work with a guy in sales that was like, man, don't be an asshole.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just the guy that's always asking something,
Yeah.
always asking for something. And so,
Come with something.
yeah, I just never was that person. I'd rather come with it. And then if somebody feels like they want to jump on board and help me, they will.
Gotcha. Nieces and nephews?
Yeah. Got some these. Man, actually got a nephew on the way.
Congratulations.
Yeah, one of my brothers is having his first kid here at the end of April.
Okay.
Yeah, another Dunlap boy. So definitely excited about that, man.
When you look at kids and you go into thinking about yourself and you think about the world we live in and the times changing,
Yeah.
what's your worries?
That you won't be. Your worries is, have I instilled enough in them,
Okay.
right, to where they can survive?
Okay.
And they have the environmental, social, and situational awareness
Okay.
of things that come their way. And then the only fear is just if something happens, there's going to be a time where I won't be here to protect them.
So you want to make sure you gave them enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. That's it.
So when they come to Uncle C, are you the firm uncle, or are you kind of like the uncle, the cool uncle?
So my brother's having his first, so that'll be my first, right?
Okay.
Nephew. My wife has an older daughter who has 2 kids.
Yeah.
So I actually got 2 G babies.
Yeah.
So
Young G5. Okay.
for the I don't think I'm too firm. No, I don't think I'm too firm at all.
Giving up everything.
I do.
Come on.
I do. That's what it's there for, right?
Yeah. Spoil them and send them on.
Yeah. That's what it's there for. And then and then the other worry is, all right, I'm creating a lot
Okay.
that they're going to be left with.
Come on.
Right. So I just got to make sure I have everything structured properly to where it doesn't get blown up.
Not a
You know
will,
what I'm
but a
saying?
trust.
Yeah. Facts. Yeah. So
Okay. So we're in a real good place, man. So when, as a man, not a color man, not a black man, a white man, but just a man, when you look at the world, what are some things you think that you would love to see shift again? Maybe they used to be, or some things they need to be.
community.
Okay.
I think our demographic is kind of getting there a little bit, right? Where we have some form of community. But I think we need that. I think we need the community where it's like the lady down the street see you doing something wrong, she could discipline you just like your parents.
It used to be like that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You
It
said
used to-
something that comes back.
Yeah.
We need something like that because now you see somebody's kid do something wrong and you say, hey, man, you probably shouldn't do that. They go tell their parents and your parents want to come fight you.
Yeah.
As opposed to saying, man, thank you for looking out for my kid.
Yeah, right.
You know what
Right.
I'm saying? So I think that's one thing that I wish would come back, and I think
Right.
we'd be in a much better place.
Yeah, I battle that. because I find myself being that OG now.
Yeah.
And like I teach everybody or something, like we go play basketball or we just move
Yeah.
around, like, what's OG? But I catch myself sometimes like, hey, don't do that.
Yeah.
Hey, why you doing? Hey, this is gonna be this, and then you don't want to be preachy, but you want to save them.
Yeah,
Stove
yeah.
hot. I don't want you to
Facts.
I don't want you to burn yourself.
Yeah, and I think it's a delicate way to do
Yeah.
it for sure. And I do the same thing when I go play ball or different things like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I ask.
Okay.
Hey, you mind if I tell you something? Right.
Now that's dope. That's dope. I
And
like
then-
that.
and then
I like
they,
that.
Yeah, they either let you.
I
or
like
they-
that a lot.
Yeah, or they won't. And some just don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
Because there were situations when I was younger where I didn't want to hear it.
Yeah.
So
you preaching on? Yeah, I ain't got time.
Yeah, so I get it.
Okay.
Yeah,
So your dreams.
my dreams.
What that look like? What's some of your dreams?
Man, that's a good question.
Okay.
Right. I think, man, some of my dreams, like I said, I just want to be as impactful as possible.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I just want a legacy to be left
Come on, legacy.
to where when I'm gone, I'm not gone.
Okay.
To where there's people that say, I'm in a better spot or a better situation in life, or my kids are in a better situation in life because I heard this guy say something that
Come
switched
on.
my mind on a certain
Facts,
topic,
facts.
and it got me in gear.
Yeah.
I think that's my biggest dream.
That's your biggest dream, but that ties into the legacy.
Ties into the legacy and to make it to heaven.
Listen, that's what we all want, man.
Yeah,
I want
yeah.
that. I want that so much. It's some people I got to see.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
want to open the door, tell me they proud of me again. So
Absolutely.
that's definitely that. So, childhood growing up,
Yep.
was it a dream to be something else? Did you have a dream to be the hoop star? Did you want to be the one everybody loved to come through? Like,
Man.
did you want the box Chevy? Because I think I was talking to Joe. I think he wanted Monte Carlo or something.
Monte Carlo.
What was it?
Man, I had a box Chevy actually.
You had the box?
I did have a box Chevy, yeah, for a little bit. I got in trouble and my step-pops took it from me, so
Okay.
I didn't have it long. Man, I didn't have to dream to be the hoop star because, you know, I knew that wasn't it, right? I played ball, but I knew I wasn't going to be, you know, the guy going to the league or nothing like that. So that wasn't my dream. Man, my dream was just, at the time I was a kid, so I didn't know what it looked like, but I just knew my dream was success at some level, right?
Yeah.
And as life progressed, right, it started firming up a little more for me.
Gotcha.
And then I realized that success isn't it isn't an end point.
Yeah.
Right. Success is just making sure that you're living life on your terms as much as you can. You know what I'm saying? What makes you happy within reason, right?
Right.
It can't be out here doing
doing
meth. Like I'm happy. You're right.
Facts.
You know, what makes you happy, doing right by the people you love, right? Like I said, being solid, right? And so I think that's what success became to me. Whatever I wanted it to be is what success is. I don't live by other people's norms or other people's sentiment on what success is.
How did you get there?
Just not caring about what people think.
Is that something that was instilled? Because like my dad used to say, man, you're a leader.
Yeah.
Stand in the front of the line.
Yeah.
You don't gotta. You get it. They teach you the T in college.
Yeah.
You get a C if you're in the middle up underneath the clock and on the front they don't see you. But what was it that clicked? Because for me, it was days that I did need validation. I did need it. I did want it from people. I wanted people to say they see me.
Yeah.
They acknowledge you. But what was it that made it where you was like, hey, I don't care?
Man, I was in high school and I got close with one of the janitors.
Okay.
Right, and we started having conversations. And, you know, he opened up. Dude was like an all-American hooper, played overseas, had money tucked away, but you would never know. And he was fine in life. And I'm like, that's peace. That's peace right there. Like, man, yeah, you might be laughing at him as a young guy. Like, man, this dude a janitor. And I knowing this guy's a millionaire.
Got that bag.
Yeah, right. And then I got to the point where I was like, yeah, man, if I get to a level, I want to be that quiet rich guy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I don't want people in my face all the time, man.
Call me Mr. Roberts when I'm in the bank.
I don't like that, man. How do I say this? I'm an extroverted introvert.
Dope.
Right?
Facts.
It takes a lot for me to get to that point to go out and be extroverted, right? But I can do it naturally.
Yeah.
But when I'm done,
Back.
I'm exhausted. Oh,
Got it.
It took a lot of my energy. So I don't ever want to be that guy, to
Right.
be all out, you know, that type of stuff. So I think that's another part of it too, is like I never cared. I always knew there was something that was a little different. Like I had friends, knew a lot of people, but I felt like, I don't want to say, I kind of felt like I didn't fit in, but I did. I could fit in, but I didn't.
You made a choice.
Yeah.
You made a choice to stand out.
Yeah.
That's good. When you think about young Chris.
Yeah.
And young Chris is doing this thing and moving through our life.
Yeah.
What would you say to maybe 16-year-old Chris?
16-year-old Chris.
What would you say to him?
Solve issues fast.
Okay.
All right. Don't let anything linger. Right.
Okay.
Going back to losing my friend and not being able to, one last time, bro, I love you. This isn't big.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Let's put this to the side. Do it earlier.
Okay.
Right? Do it earlier. Whatever it is that you want to do it earlier.
Okay.
Right? Don't wait. Understanding that life is actually fleeting, and I think that's one thing that the pandemic showed us. It's short, and it can be gone at any time.
Facts.
So whatever that thing is that you want to do, go experience it. Right? And then get back, course correct. Right? If it's something like, man, I want to go live in Tanzania for a year, and then I come back and I'm like, dang, at least go experience it, whatever it is. So I would definitely say that. I would say there's definitely some things that when I was younger, that I probably was like, sorry.
You okay?
Maybe I should have went in, backpack in Guatemala or something like that. You know what I'm
Something
saying?
different.
You hear some of those stories, and you're like, man, that
Facts.
would have been cool,
Facts.
right? So something like that, maybe.
So I have a job that allows me to be able to travel.
Yeah.
Right. So with the job, man, we were sitting around and we were having a conversation one day, and the guys was like, Dude said, I'm hungry. I'm like, all right, you hungry? He's like, yeah, I might as well give me a Philly cheese.
Okay.
So he legit walked upstairs, bought a ticket. Shout out.
Okay. To Philly. Okay.
I'll be back in a minute.
Okay.
Another guy, he said, man, I'm bored. Got 2 days off.
Yeah.
I'm going to London.
Dope.
Had I not seen what was behind that curtain, my mind frame would only allow me to see 635,
absolutely,
71, 435, and crossing over.
Yeah.
The bottoms.
Yeah.
That, right? I went to college and got a feel with other people that kind of prepared me, right? But with the gig, man, it made the world look so much smaller, but so much bigger. Because you can plan anywhere.
Absolutely.
And if the flight is taken care of, everything else is on the house. You
Absolutely.
See what I'm saying? So I definitely agree with doing more.
Yeah.
Seeing more and not accepting that because you come from here.
Yep.
Or because they say this is that, challenge it.
Absolutely.
Go see it.
Yep.
I think that's so important for especially men and women, but men have to see it because it helps us better to align the people around us.
Yeah.
And to make us better, I have to have seen some things. You have to see some things. So now we're not having a useless friendship.
Yeah.
I'm real big on that now. Everything has to make sense. I can pour as much as I want into you. You can pour as much as you want, but it has to be something where I'm holding you accountable.
Yeah.
I'm pushing you. I'm steady pushing you. Do this. Go here. Be this person.
Yeah.
So it's good.
So,
go ahead.
Interesting point. So, I agree with that.
Yeah.
But, so I see a lot of posts and it's like, man, if you're not, adding value to my life, I don't need you around or whatever it may be, right? And so for me, I feel like anything that I want to be or want to achieve, I could pretty much do it on my own.
Facts, that's true.
So I don't necessarily need my friends to add value. I love you because who you are, regardless
Facts,
of that.
that's true.
So I used to get frustrated sometimes when I try to push people to do better or be different. But what I want in life isn't what everybody else wants in life.
Yeah.
And I felt like I had to learn, just give people grace. Who cares?
I like that.
You my guy. I love you. You my people. I don't need you to be at the same level I am for you to be in my circle.
Yeah.
So
no, I definitely agree that I don't want you to be what I am.
Yeah.
I really want you to be the best version of you.
There you go.
Now that's my irritation.
Yeah.
When you settling, I got a problem.
Yeah.
And the only reason why I got a problem because I can, and maybe it's the Virgo in me. I don't know. I'm September.
See.
You know what I'm saying? So I think everybody has something in them.
Absolutely.
I think the goodness of, I don't care who you are, what you are. I don't care if I meet you just in passing and crossing. I think you have something dope about you, and I want to make sure you see the dopeness.
But what if they're already happy?
Exactly. So I had to learn the last 2 years. It ain't about what you see.
Exactly.
I definitely will tell you that's a lesson that I learned because that was my main focus was I wanted everybody to go.
Yeah.
Every backyard bags.
Yeah.
We going. Because growing up, all the OGs, when they threw the parties or they kicked it didn't matter. If you got yours and I got mine, we good. Yeah. We good. Everything's good. Don't worry about nothing. I'm going to take care of you. It's on me this time. Those feelings was feelings that you could never buy and never give nobody else because it was like, man, I'm able to put on with my people.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? When maybe 25-year-old Chris, what would you say to him?
25-year-old Chris. I would say to 25-year-old Chris, don't follow the norm.
Okay.
Right? I was like any other 25-year-old.
Right.
I'm in the clubs.
Right.
Fishbowl. When you think about a club, all you're doing is sitting in there looking at the same people, walking by, saying what's up to the same people that you done already seen 10 times.
Yeah.
We laugh at a goldfish in a bowl, but that's exactly what we do in the club.
Got you.
25-year-old Chris, I would say, man,
stay out the club.
Stay out them clubs, man. Go do something different. There's so much more out here than that. Yeah.
I just had that epiphany. I was in Houston for the takeover.
Yeah.
I'm like, I see these people every day.
Yeah. Well, I got to come to Houston to see you.
I'm going to see some people I ain't seen in a while.
Yeah.
So that's good. One friend. If you could take something from one of your friends, one of your friend group, in order to make you better, what's something you would take from one of your friends?
Man, so I have a friend, Mike. probably one of the smartest dudes that I know.
Okay.
Like genius level smart.
Mm-hmm.
If I could take anything from him, and I've taken a little bit of it, is just say yes.
Okay.
Right? So here's Mike. He's like, if somebody asks him anything, like, yo, man, can you build an airplane? He gonna say, absolutely. What specifications do you need? And he's gonna take that and go figure it out.
Okay.
He's gonna go do the research to figure it out.
Okay, I liked it.
And so I'm like,
it.
okay, yeah. So I had to start getting to that point, like, somebody want to, yeah, right? I had people ask me, do you know how to do web design? Yep. And so I taught myself how to do web design. And that was a business that I had just because somebody asked me. I didn't know how to do it at the time.
Yeah.
But by saying yes and committing to that, I had to go expand my knowledge.
Just say yes.
Yeah. So
like
some
that.
things you just have to commit to that'll force you to continue to grow.
Gotcha. And if you could get an extra hour in a day, how would you spend it?
An extra hour in a day, how I spend it. Man.
Watch out now.
Hey, if the market was open an extra hour in a day, I'll spend it trading.
I take it.
Yeah, I'll spend it trading. Either that or a nap.
I take it. Question you have. Maybe a question you have for me. Maybe you have a question that you would like to ask society. What would it be?
A question for society. This may be a little deep. My question for society is simple but deep.
Come on.
Are you ready for what's coming?
Okay. Point. Period.
There's a lot going on in the world. Are we ready? This is why I try to get the knowledge out that I give out, right? The way that the world's going, right? We're trying to move away from the dollar, right? We're trying to move away from fiat currency. Now we're moving to blockchain. Every global superpower in the world is trying to move to be the first mover to a digital coin. So we're going to take away this thing. You got banks collapsing. You got central and regional banks about to go under or get swallowed up by larger banks. Why is that? You got BRICS, which is Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, and then all these other countries in Africa trying to join that are trying to build this super league to compete with North America and our allies.
Right.
Are we ready for what's coming?
Okay. That's the question.
That's the question.
Things happen in life. As we talked about COVID. COVID came through, kind of changed everything. I asked everybody this because it's a question that I had to do. When it comes to your emergency contact, it changes.
Yeah.
Something was to happen to you right now. Who's the first person you call?
Well, probably my wife because she's the closest here, right? She could get to me.
You and the missus together.
Yeah, okay.
Who do you call next?
My brother.
Call your brother?
Yeah, I call my brother David.
Okay.
We talk all the time.
All right. So, and the reason why I ask, and not to go too long, I challenge everybody to have 5 people they can call.
Yeah.
You have 5 people you can call for any and everything?
Absolutely.
That's dope.
Absolutely.
And I challenge everybody to have 5 people they can call that they don't have to look in their phone for the number.
Got that too.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the reason why, because I found myself a lot of times your phone go dead. You like, God, I'm out. I don't know.
Yeah.
I got to get a charger. You see what I'm saying? So I always challenge everybody to do that, man. I definitely always look into it because I want to make sure that everybody has people like whatever you're doing.
Yeah.
They ain't investing in you financially, but they invest in you as a person.
Absolutely.
And I think that's important. I definitely think that's important, man, that you have to have somebody you can say, hey, bro, I'm going to call you just to talk to you, you know, what you lose in the past. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That was your lifeline.
And that's tough to replace.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And when with me, I lost some lifelines along the way, man, but they gave me so much that it makes it like a movie in my head. What's one thing you got from you would say from him that you could take, that you took with you?
I think it goes back to the grace for people.
He got you that.
Yeah, man, because I had a situation that happened, and the way that he handled me in that situation, it was like, dang, man, this is what I always felt like I missed in a father figure, somebody that sat me down with grace, talked to me, and gave me guidance out of it. You know what I'm saying? Got you. So that, man. So now when I speak to people, it's all with grace. I'm gentle. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I'm slow to judge.
Facts.
Right.
That's good.
So that's one thing that I really took from him.
Okay. Do me a favor, my G. That camera right there, if you could.
Right.
Your handles, courses.
Yeah.
What you offer.
Absolutely.
What you want to give the world. My platform, your platform.
Man, I appreciate that. Yeah, so my handles on social media is Stick Talk Dunny, D-U-N-N-Y, Stick Talk. On Facebook, I'm just Chris Dunlap. I'm just who I am on Facebook. What I give to the world is financial literacy and knowledge on investing in the stock market and making sound financial decisions for today, and to leave that knowledge to the generations that come behind you. You can find out more about what we do at inwallstreet.com. That's inwallstreet.com. Yeah, man, that's who I am.
And in Wall Street.com, that's the
website.
That's your website.
Yeah, New Wall Street is the company.
Okay.
It's just a financial literacy company that we built.
How many
out of necessity? 3.
3. You want to shout them out?
Stick Talk Mike, Stick Talk Pat. So that's Mike James Jr. on Facebook, and then Pat Cowens on Facebook. Those are my guys. Yeah, man, the way that we formed, it was crazy. I didn't even know Pat.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
He just started following me on Facebook and was like, "What is this thing you talking about? Stock options, right?" And we got to talking, and started bringing him up to speed. And then Mike, I knew from high school.
Gotcha.
And same thing, he was posting some stuff about the stock market, and I was like, "You ever heard of options?" And he was like, "Man, what's that?" And we got into it, and then we just came together, and I was like, "I got a vision. What y'all think?" And they was just like, "Let's do it." Right, just out the gate, and we've been rocking ever since.
Facts.
Yeah.
I tell everybody, bro, anytime I can ever do anything you need, let me know.
Same.
Never goodbye.
Yeah, for sure.
I'll always see you later.
Of course, we got too many people in common now.
It's up.
Yeah,
we just see that.
Absolutely.
May God be your direction, and we be your seatbelt in this thing.
Absolutely.
And y'all be cool, be safe, man. Love.
Appreciate you.